Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk About It, the video program that brings you information to help you live your best life. I'm your host, Stephanie Powell, and today we are talking about something I am so passionate about. We are talking about fitness and nutrition for women. Get ready to get excited and motivated with me because joining us today is a true expert in this area. We have Jeanette Chandler as our guest. She is a certified personal trainer. She is a dietitian with a master's degree in nutrition, and she is an author who's worked with hundreds, you heard me, hundreds of clients. And she continues to take on female clients to help them become the healthiest, happiest version of themselves. As you'll hear in this episode, Jeanette is on a mission, right, Jeanette?
I
Help
am.
women feel
Yes.
confident both physically and mentally through nutrition and fitness. Ladies, if you need some inspiration to lose weight and love your bodies, and men, if any of the women in your life need that sort of inspiration, this show's for you. Isn't that right, Jeanette?
Yes, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you, Stephanie, so much.
If we can get a little personal, I think I want to start off by talking about you. You had mentioned how you have been down that path.
Mhm.
And I think hearing about your journey can help inspire us, those of us who are looking to transform into a healthier version of themselves. Tell us what inspired you to get and stay on the path to wellness, and then go as far as becoming a certified personal trainer and a dietitian and
Mhm.
author. Tell us about your journey, Jeanette.
So my journey started fairly early in my life. I would say around high school is when I started to shift away from wanting to be a fashion designer, honestly,
Oh,
to
wow.
moving into health and fitness. I took a class in high school and I started learning more about nutrition. And I realized that my grandmother, what she was cooking, and real Southern grandmother, you know, doing
Yeah.
her best to feed her kids and her grandkids. And I just realized that what she was doing was not healthy. So I think that was the trigger for me at that point. And then I went to college, got a bachelor's and a master's, and started working at a hospital in Baltimore, actually, and then branched off into my own business. But I guess a little bit of a transition there, got married, had my son, who's now almost 10, and I gained 60 pounds. I was a
While you were
professional
pregnant.
while I was pregnant. I was a professional cheerleader for about 5 years.
Mm.
I was always into nutrition and fitness, running, all kinds of things. And then when I had my son, it was like, what happened?
Right. And weren't you also a dancer when at
Yes,
Hampton you were part of
I
the
was.
dance squad? Mhm.
I was an Ebony Fire, and that was such an honor to do that as well. So I've always been very active. And I
Mhm.
think the shift happens for women after they have kids is that their mindset goes to taking care of their family and, oh, what happened to you? You get so
Right.
caught up in being a mother, you get caught up in being a wife, where you forget who you are. Like, you are still you. You are still a person. You are still a human. You are still as fabulous as you were before you became a wife and a mom. And the depression started to come in. I was just couldn't understand and really figure out, like, why is my body like this? I mean, I knew I had a baby, but for someone coming from a health and fitness background, it literally crushed me.
So
And so,
that's interesting. Can we
mhm,
pause there,
yeah,
Jeanette? It's
sure.
interesting for someone from your background who
Mhm,
got your degree in nutrition, you've been fit, it can happen to anyone. I think that's a key message for people listening.
mhm.
It doesn't just happen to someone who is not very knowledgeable about health and fitness. It happened to you. So it can happen to any of us, right?
It did. It happened to me. And I woke up one day, honestly, Stephanie, and said, I'm not living like this anymore.
Mhm.
It was the why for me. And that why was me. It had nothing to do with
Right,
Justin. It had nothing to do with
right.
my husband. It was because I loved me. I love myself more than being in this state that I'm in. I'm like, either I can sit here and sulk or I can get up and do something about it.
So you were experiencing at that time, and I want to kind of get in the mindset you were in.
Sure.
You had gained 60 pounds, you were depressed,
Mhm.
um, and you felt like you had just kind of lost yourself. And then
That-
you got to a point of self-love where you said, I've got to do this for me. So you didn't point to the excuses of, oh, well, I have this to do now because I'm a mother, or I have that to do because I'm a wife, and I'm sure you had other things going on as well. You
Exactly.
just said, I love me enough to do something about this. It just
Yeah.
hit you one day. You got
Yeah.
tired of being tired.
And I think everybody who feels or gets to a point where they're low, I would say low, because I mean, you really are at a point where you're just not at your best.
Right.
Either you're going to have an aha moment, right? Because that aha
Right.
moment for me was the self love. But that's one of the things that I teach women is that, like, you can have an aha moment, that you are worthy, that you are, worthy of this life that God has given you. For some reason, your mind is telling you otherwise. But, my job and part of what I do is to help them realize how important they are. And I think once you make that aha moment, nothing, you will never go back. Your life will forever be changed because your why is more powerful than excuses.
Yeah.
And that's really the transformation that happens.
It was very similar for me, Jeanette. Like you, I was a dancer. I danced from a very early age, most of my life. And then you get to college, you pack on the freshman 15, and seemingly life takes over. And you look up one day and you're a different version of yourself. And you look and you're like, what happened? Where
Yeah.
am I? What's going
Mhm.
on? And then my knees were aching. I couldn't fit in any of my clothes. And it was just a different experience that I had with life in this different body. And you're right, it just hits you one day where you say, enough, enough is enough.
Yeah, really
But
agree.
also it was the people you surround yourself with too.
I tell my clients this all the time. I'm like, sometimes being on this journey could be very lonely. You can't depend on people to, push you every day and motivate you every day. That's something that comes from within. But you're right, surrounding yourself around like minded people helps to keep that momentum going. But ultimately, it is up to you
Yes, yes,
to get up every
absolutely,
day and move your body.
absolutely. And let me just say, I'm a proponent for health for both men and women.
Mhm.
Um, but women do have some unique challenges. Like you said, we are built to be the nurturers. We nurture, we give, and we support other people. We support our husbands, our children, our families, our friends. And we have some unique challenges in this space. Is that why you decided your niche would be providing counsel to women specifically? Tell us about that.
Yes. So I so growing up in Ohio, I grew up in a very I would say disturbing household.
Mhm,
Domestic violence, there was alcohol abuse, and I
mhm,
grew up seeing my grandmother and other women just being treated so negatively. And
mhm.
I just could imagine what my grandmother must have been feeling about herself back then. And I just, something about those moments just really just hit my heart. And I just said, why do women feel like they have to deal with certain things? Why do women feel like we have to settle? And I think that was that defining moment that if I could get through all of that, as a young child, seeing those things, it is my absolute duty, right, to help women feel good about themselves. And it literally just hit me. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to empower
Right.
women.
Yes.
um,
Yes.
yeah. So I think that was a kind of the triggering moment for me. I just see so much when it comes to women and their self-worth. And anytime another woman can tell another woman how amazing she is, that could be the redefining moment for her to change her life.
Right. Right. That is so powerful. And thank you for sharing that,
Yeah, sure.
Jeanette. When you have that sense of what those unique sensibilities and experiences are for women, how does that
Mhm.
factor into your coaching?
One of the things about my program is Jeanette's 1, 2, 3 method to wellness. It really focuses on mindset. Every client that I sit down with, the first thing I ask her is, tell me how you're doing. Why do you need me? What's happening in your life? And that's when the tears start rolling, because so many women just don't feel comfortable just talking about it. So it really, and I always tell my clients, it's not the food that's the problem. It is a symptom of something that's going on in your life, and you're using that food to fuel that insecurity or whatever is happening in your life. And we can't move forward until we actually deal with what's happening. So immediately we talk about what's happening. Sometimes that can take 10 minutes, sometimes that can take an hour. But I think just really finding out why they're here is really the key to the switch and the transformation that happens. And that's the first thing that we talk about. Otherwise, it's like, why are we even here? If we can't be open and transparent with each other, then we're not going to move forward.
Interesting, interesting place. And I can imagine the tears do start
Oh,
rolling,
oh my gosh.
probably with both of
Like
you.
I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, oh my God.
Yes, yes. I mean, for my family, food
Hmm.
has represented a sense of connection,
Hmm.
a sense of emotional strength in a way. Because every night, well, I'd say at least Monday, we would kind of take Saturdays off, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, we sat together at dinner and we talked about the day. We talked about what was going on with life. We laughed, we shared. And so for our family, food represents that kind of emotional connection with family. We did that every day. And
Hmm.
so, but sometimes you can overdo that because you draw that connection between closeness, intimacy, love, even, and food. And sometimes you're eating not because you're looking for, because you're hungry or you're looking for nutrients. You're doing that trying to relive that sense of connection. And for me, I had to get real about that. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you're constantly, looking for opportunities to get with people and eat, 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 eat. You really just want the connection. You just really want the intimacy and to share. And food doesn't always have to be at the centerpiece of it.
That's one of the things that I talk to women about. Is like, how can we utilize other things to feed your emotional state versus food? Because I think the food is the easiest thing for people to do. But through my program, we talk about other resources and things that you can do if you're feeling emotional and you want to eat. Take a minute, take a deep breath, drink some water, write down your feelings. Don't just go to the kitchen and grab something, because it's a vicious cycle. We have to break that
Yeah.
cycle in order to move forward.
And you mentioned this 1, 2, 3 method. You created the 1, 2, 3 method, right?
Yes, I
And so what could you tell us, what are the components? What are the 3 components of that method? And I'd like us to kind of break that down and talk more about that.
the method is mindset first, fitness,
Okay.
and then nutrition. And I
Hmm.
did it that way because what I found is that if we can't fix that mindset, then the fitness and the nutrition doesn't even matter. Right?
Yes, you're right.
So every time a new client comes on with me, we take weeks, sometimes months to really focus on the mindset. And what I really focus on is you being the best version of yourself by dealing with whatever is happening to you. I tell my clients, if you need to, let's go to counseling, right? I give them different resources, affirmations, journaling. I think that's powerful. Saying words, people don't understand the power of words. If you say it and you repeat it, I always say it 3 times. I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Eventually it gets into your brain. It's that subconscious that's the most powerful part of your brain, and that's the one that's always very negative.
Right.
It
It
is
is. It's so loud, isn't
a
it?
muscle. Yes, it is like training a muscle to say,
Mhm.
I need to build myself up, and consistency over time.
Yeah.
Consistency over time. Say it again,
Mhm.
consistency over time leads to success. So that's the first part. And then the nutrition part, I put that last because that is a lifestyle change that will affect you your entire life. So that is
Mhm.
the piece to me that wraps everything together, the nutrition. So we spend a lot of time talking about why certain nutrients, why we need to eat at certain times of the day, portion
Mhm.
control. How can you fit this into your lifestyle? How can you do this with your kids? How can you make this for your husband? It is really when you go out to dinner, what can you eat? So it is really a
Good.
lifestyle. But put that last because that is the part that's going to, again, seal everything together.
This
So
is so well crafted, Jeanette, and so well thought out because it takes into account the total person, and
mm-hmm,
it connects the mind and the body. And like you said, everything starts with the mind. If you believe
mm-hmm,
it, you can achieve it.
mm-hmm.
And our beliefs can work for us or against us. If we tell ourselves, oh, it's hard, I don't have enough time, there are not enough hours in the day, I'm too old, so I can't possibly reach my goal weight, then you'll likely prove yourself right. And so it does begin with the mind. Everything starts there.
I tell people when you start this journey with me, you have to love where you are now. You can't
You have
say
to
I'm
love where you
my
are.
body. Oh my, like that negative self-talk, you put that in the universe, what happens? The universe says,
Yeah,
okay, well, you're fat, right? Like those are such negative words that you say to yourself. You would never say that to someone else. So why
right.
do we say it to
That's right.
ourselves?
That's
We're
right.
so hard on ourselves and we never give ourselves enough grace, me included. I have to
Yes.
check myself a lot, Stephanie.
Yes, but it's a constant work. I don't think it's something where the light bulb turns on one day and then you're just home free and you don't it's a constant work, and I don't mean to make it sound difficult,
Mhm,
but self-love is a moment by moment, right?
mhm.
Because it's every single choice we make. And I try to live life now with more intention.
Mhm.
You're right. What words do I choose? Not only for myself, but what words do I put out there in the universe to others? Am I inspiring others? Am I encouraging them to be a better person, version of themselves? How do I want to show up in the world? And the self-love is so very important, but it's expressed through everything we do, what we
Yes.
say, what we eat, what we watch on TV, what we read. It's a part, it's like you said earlier, it's a part of your lifestyle. It's just how you live.
If the mindset piece is not there, I think that's really the missing piece. Because if your mindset is there, then you're going to do all the things that you need to do to stay healthy and fit, right? It's that why. I keep saying why, because if you don't have a strong why you're doing what you're doing, then you're just going to go up and down, up and down. And that's where that inconsistency comes. But if you have a strong why of why you're doing what you're doing every day, then there's nothing that can get in the way of that. Even for me, my nutrition is just off. It's just my mind is off. So when I
Right.
feel that way, I just don't feel like a complete person. And so that's when I start to really start back listening to personal development, just really getting my mindset back together. Because I cannot stress this enough, Stephanie. If you don't have a powerful, strong mind, if you don't love yourself enough amongst all these things in this world, social media, even like just words from your spouse, like people, just people you work with, there's so many things that can crush you on a daily basis. But if your mind is strong,
We have to be the ones who tell our own stories and who define who we
mhm,
are and to choose that love. What role does self awareness play? So I know for me, if I feel something in my knees or I'm not as flexible as I, you know, usually am.
oh, I think it has everything to do with your wellness journey.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
you have to come to a place where you're comfortable with challenging yourself, but not killing yourself in a way, right? I mean,
Hmm.
you just have to get to a point where what you do is enough, and the results that you're getting from what you're doing, either we can tweak our meal plan a little bit or change the workout, but it doesn't have to be so detrimental that people are like, oh my God, I'm going to be so sore, you know, I can't do this. But you have, self-awareness is everything. Because I mean, I'm almost 50. I'm not going to be able to do what I did when I was 20. I'm
Right.
okay with that.
Hmm.
I'm
That's right.
okay with that. If my
That's right.
nutrition is on point and I'm still working out every day, getting great results, by the way,
Hmm.
with, you know, with weight training. And honestly, I work out maybe 45 minutes a day. That's it. But I'm not in the
Hmm.
gym for hours. That's not in my schedule. You know, you have to understand where your body is and what you can do with the body that you have, right? To
Hmm.
get the results
Hmm.
that you're looking for. So I always tell my clients, you know, don't get upset if you can't run 5 miles. I'm not asking you to run 5 miles. I'm asking you to do
Hmm.
something that's going to make you happy, that's going to make you healthy, and
Hmm.
that's going to change the way your body looks. It's very important.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
So, a couple of things that you mentioned that really stood out is commitment, making the commitment to yourself, and consistency is another thing that kind of rang out for me, that you must commit to working out. How often, Jeanette, do you recommend? You must
So
commit
I
to
recommend anywhere from 4 to 6 days a week,
4 to 6
consistent, right?
days. Okay.
Yes, I work out six
Mhm.
days a week. That's been for years, and I have not
Wow.
stopped. I will continue to do that
Wow.
as long as I can. That
Hmm.
works for me. But for my
Right.
clients, if you're not working out at least 4 days a week, I, I, I just say that's not enough. That's not
Right.
enough
Right.
for getting the results that you want. I recommend you do
Mhm.
something to move your body every single day. Again, as you said,
Mhm.
Stephanie, with intention. So six
Right.
days a week, I have intention to get out of my bed and move my
Mhm.
body for 45 minutes.
Mhm.
And, you know, I have to tell my clients, if you want to lose 30, 40 pounds, you've got to put in more work. If you don't
Mhm.
want to lose that, then you can put in less work. So the more work that you put in is going to be really indicative of your results. So you have to decide what are you going to do. My goal is to get my client to be consistent, consistency over time, by making working out a part of relieving stress, right? A part of
Mhm.
putting in your schedule. I tell my clients all the time, when you work out, it is non-negotiable. That is a time, because
Mhm.
like for me, Stephanie, I'm sorry, but I love to get my hair done.
And it's beautiful, by the way.
I never break, Stephanie, my hair appointment ever for anybody. So
Gorgeous.
I tell them
Gorgeous.
about it as like an appointment you cannot miss with yourself every day.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
So
Yes.
it's getting them to consistently put it in their schedule, right?
Put it
30
in.
minutes here,
Yes.
20 here, an hour there, making time for that. I also tell them to set their alarms. You know, especially with my clients who are really busy, who forget to eat, I tell them to set their alarm on their
Mhm.
phone every couple hours. So when your alarm goes off, that means get up, drink some water. I need to eat something. So yeah, I think scheduling is absolutely necessary for you to be successful, because if you don't schedule it, it's non-existent. It really is. Like if it's not on your calendar, you won't do it.
Right, right. And again, I think it goes to you're your own boss when it comes to
Mhm.
this. You are empowered. If you don't live your life, people will fill in those spaces for you. They will schedule you.
Thank
You
you.
are empowered to determine how you're going to live your life. And it may mean adjusting a few things. It may
Mhm.
mean, okay, I'm going to go to bed earlier so I can get up earlier and be energized and I can fit in things in a way where everything flows. But
Yeah.
you're empowered to do that.
Right. And Stephanie, I think it's really important that we talk about boundaries
Yes, please
because
talk
Stephanie,
about that.
we don't give ourselves boundaries. It's
We
okay
don't.
to say no. You don't have to
Right.
do everything. You are not on this earth to please everybody. You're not. You are on this earth to be the best, happiest version of you. It's okay to say no. And I tell my clients this all the time. Well, Jeanette, if I say no, I'm, doing that. Okay. But that doesn't have anything to do with you. That doesn't
Yes.
have anything to do with your life, right?
Yes.
It's yours. You have to say no. It's okay to say no to some things.
Oh, Jeanette, preach, preach, preach. That has been so hard for me because
Mhm.
aside from the various roles, I'm just generally a person who's an uplifter, a supporter, and I just want to be there for everybody. And so saying no, ooh, boy, you hit me right here. That has
Mhm.
been so hard, but I've had to learn to do that. I can't do everything. And I think that's really key for people to recognize you can't do everything. You can't be everything to everybody. Because if you try that, guess who comes last?
Yep, you. And you have to be on the priority list of your life every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yes, saying no is a healthy thing, people. It's a healthy
It's a very
thing.
healthy thing. Yeah.
And you
It's
can
not
say it
selfish.
lovingly, can't you? You can say it nicely and lovingly.
Mhm.
But it's about putting yourself first. When women have committed to your program, and they've done that and they've seen the results. Tell us about what that transformation has done for people once you commit to the program and you kind of get on the other side.
Yeah.
What does
So
that look like?
it smiles. Thank you, Jeanette. You've changed my life. I love you. Um, those are the things that my job here is done. If you can
Mm,
say to me, thank you, you've changed my life, I'm a better person, I love who I am now,
mhm.
I've done my job. And
Yes.
one thing that I have to say with what I've been doing with this 1, 2, 3 Method to Wellness program is that they're still with me. Once you're a part of this
Mhm.
program, we are lifers. That's what I like to call them. We are lifers. We will always be in each other's lives. I will always be here to guide you. You get off the wagon, so to speak, I'll be
Mhm.
here to pick you up. That's what being in this sisterhood, that's what I call it, because it
Right.
really is sisterhood to me, that we will always be here to support each other and I'll always be in your
Mhm.
corner.
Yes.
But I really think it's important to, even if it's one thing that I could teach you, one thing that you did differently, if you just made recipes more during that week or a month or this whole time you were with me, that's the most important thing, is that something in you or about your life has changed. That's different than when you started with me.
Have you found that some of the transformations in the women have had a ripple effect where their families become healthier and it's kind of transformed beyond?
Yes. Because once you change, your whole family changes.
Mhm.
It has to. I feel like women are such the matriarchs or such the center of the family. If you're not in a good state, your family's not in a good state. If you're in a happy, healthy state, your whole family will be because you're different. Your energy is different. The way that you feel about yourself is different. That will illuminate your whole family. So it definitely affects the whole family in so many ways. Making different recipes, just spending more time with your spouse because you're in a happier place. You feel different. You'll feel different about your spouse because when you're not, when you're stressed out all the time, all that stress comes out on your spouse. It just causes that friction. But when you're open and you're loving, all that loving energy projects out to your family and your spouse. It affects everything about your life.
It does.
So yeah, I have to say those are the biggest changes when it comes to the family. And one thing too, Stephanie, that I just wanted to point out was that I think as moms, you know, we're here to, and even as humans, we're here to serve others. We're here to serve others in a very positive way, not at the expense of you, right? We're not servants. We serve other people. We inspire and help other people, but you are not to serve and do hand and foot and all kinds of things for other people all the time when you don't take care of yourself. No.
Absolutely. That's a really key point. I'm going to get a little personal. I won't call names. I'll protect the innocent here, but it's something that hit close to home for me, where I've seen even people close to you kind of sabotage your efforts. They see that, oh, okay, you're getting fit, you're losing weight, you're looking younger, and they'll kind of sabotage. I mean, and that's real for women, you know, who want to please their families, their husbands, and it can be a struggle for some people who are getting on and they want to stay on the journey and be committed. What do you advise to people who are going through a little bit of the sabotage? And it may not be a spouse, it might even be a best friend or you know, someone else in your life who might be even close to you. What do you advise to people who might be
I always
that?
say two things. One is you need to talk to your family, your friends, and let them know what you're doing and ask them for their support. Because if they don't know what's going on and if they're just like, well, she's doing all this, what's happening? I think you have to be transparent, right? You have to tell people what's going on. And if they don't support you, that's their choice. But again, you have to make that decision and that intention that whatever happens, happens. As I mentioned before, Stephanie, this can be a very lonely process, right? Because everyone's not going to understand what your goals are. Everyone is not going to be in your corner. But every time someone is not in your corner, does that mean you're going to give up? That's where that mindset comes in, right? Like, you are amazing. You deserve the best. So if they don't support you, okay, does that really, really honestly make a big difference in your life? Not really. Is it really going to change anything about who you are as a person? No. Is it going to change the way you feel about yourself and your goals? No. So I feel like, and I tell my clients this a lot, doesn't matter who supports you or who doesn't support you. It's about you. This is your journey, and your journey is yours. It's not for everyone else. It is your journey.
Right. And it, like you said, and it's more so an internal journey. See, I'm more of an introvert, which means some people think, oh, that means shy or whatever. No, that means you're just kind of internally motivated and things kind of move more from within rather than needing the external influences and the validation. And so, you know, for me, the journey was kind of like you said, making up my mind and then making the decisions that align with the mind. And I didn't need people to say, oh, good job, keep going. I think for those who need that, what do you say to them? You kind of have to be your own cheerleader through this. Because like you said, it can be lonely. So part of the self-talk, you know, that's great. Keep going. What are some things that you tell your clients in that situation?
my experience, I said it doesn't matter who or who's around me that doesn't support me. I'm still going to do this for me. So
Mhm.
if I don't have anybody to work out with, I'm still going to get up and work out. If I don't have anybody to cook with, I'm still going to cook for myself. You just have to get to a point where there's no excuses, whether people support you or not. And I guess I can't really explain like how the internal shift for you changes, because when that internal shift changes, the whatever around you doesn't matter.
Mhm. Right.
And I tell my clients, I want you to get to that point where you're loving yourself enough to say, I'm still worthy of everything that I'm doing, even if I don't have support. And that's
I
in
am.
general
Mhm.
in life, that's in business, right? You're not going to have everybody supporting you. Does that mean you just crawl up and you quit? You
Mhm.
never give up on yourself.
That's
Never
right.
quit on yourself, ever. You keep
You
going.
are so inspiring, Jeanette. You are so inspiring. I have to be honest. I didn't get in my workout today. So I dressed. I have on my workout clothes.
I know.
So when we wrap,
Yeah, I know.
I'm
We're
going to get in
ready.
my workout.
Yes, we are
And you have
ready.
me, we are ready. You have me even more inspired. I just want, and for those who plateau, I'm just kind of thinking of the challenges that people might be facing. So it might be people who are not in their corner, but they have to be their own advocate, right?
Mhm,
But what
mhm.
about those who plateau? There are moments where you're getting results, and then suddenly that scale, the weight on the
Yeah.
scale is not moving, or what do you advise to people who face the
So
plateau? What do
I
you
always
do?
say, expect the plateau. You're
Ah,
going, you're
mm-hmm,
going to. That's just
mm-hmm,
part of the process. You're going to plateau.
mm-hmm,
But when you
mm-hmm.
get to that plateau, don't give up. See, that's where
Right.
people stop. They're like, well, I'm not losing weight. It's not working. I'm just going to quit. That's when you turn it up a notch. You look at your
Mhm.
meal plan, you look at your workouts, you look at your stress level. People don't understand stress causes those hormones that basically, I call them like the fat hormones, right? You got to take that down a
Mhm.
notch, right? Sleeping, if you're not sleeping, are you drinking your water? There's things that you can change to get you past that plateau. So don't quit. Just figure out what's happening. And I always tell my clients to write down 3 or 4 days and look at where you can possibly change. Are you doing the same workout that you did 4 months ago? Hey, maybe it's
Mhm.
changing up the workout. Are you still eating the same foods that you've been eating? Maybe you need to switch that up a little bit,
Mhm.
right? It could be just smallest thing to take you to the next weight bracket, as I would
Exactly.
like to say.
Mhm. Well, wonderful. Well, I think we are going to wrap it up on that note, Jeanette. It's great that your services are virtual, right?
Yeah,
So that means
yeah,
you take in clients from potentially all over.
all
Is
over.
that right?
I love to work with women who are just ready. I mean, even if you're not ready and you just want to talk to me, let's
Hmm.
talk. Because I think
Right.
sometimes women just don't feel like they have someone to talk to, and they don't know where to go. They don't know how to start. That's
Mhm.
where we start. We just start by picking up the phone or getting on a virtual Zoom and just talking.
Well, wonderful. I want you to share two bits of information. Your book, people can get great information from that. And then
Mhm.
also tell us, for those who want to talk and learn more.
Yeah, so I am co-author of well, actually, I'm just going to start here by saying I did the detox. So yeah, so I wrote a 15-day detox, really specifically on the mindset piece, Stephanie. So
Mhm.
with the detox over the 15 days, you really go through a transformation in the sense of the mindset. So I really focused on how are you feeling, what were you thinking when you were eating, how are you sleeping. But the detox is based on real food. I'm not a component of quick fixes. It is a true 15-day emotional and food-wise detox that really focuses on the mindset. But I really just want to talk about the
Absolutely.
detox because
Sure.
I wanted people to understand that I did not write the whole book, that the detox was
Right.
really my baby and sort of the whole process that you'll go through with the detox. But you can always
Excellent.
reach me at Jeanette Chandler or Fit with Jeanette Chandler on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram at fit_with_Jeanette. You can go to my website, JeanetteChandlerFitness.com.
Thank you so much, Jeanette, for what you do.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for sharing your knowledge with us
Oh, I
today.
appreciate it. I am honored to be here. Anything I can do to support you and support other amazing women, I am all for it. So thank you, Stephanie, for the invitation. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Such an
Thank
honor.
you, Jeanette. Thank
You're
you
so
so
welcome.
much. And Talk About It family, thank you for tuning in. Look for other Talk About It episodes at the Talk About It YouTube channel for better living. I'm Stephanie Powell. Until next time.
Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our Talk About It YouTube channel and turn on notifications. Also, check us out on our social media. Hope to see you next time.